So I'll talk about speed first. So the headline here is that overall Storytell reports should now take less than half the time they used to take to generate, beginning to end. And so I kind of identified the three biggest bottlenecks of where most of the time was spent generating reports. And obviously the biggest of those was the speech to text processing for media files specifically. This doesn't apply for text or PDF. But previously, if you uploaded like an hour-long piece of content, it would take 24-ish minutes or a lot more, depending on the content. And now that should take like 30 seconds or less.
Wow, that's
we are now
Insane.
we're now integrated with DeepGram, which is a third-party speech-to-text, and here's their comparison with Google. This is the product we were using before, and it's just incredible. Yeah, it's just shocking.
Parker, can you hear all the applause that Jing is giving you?
Yeah.
Oh, I should open web. Okay.
Yeah. So this is amazing.
Let's see. There we go. Cool. So that's that first piece. And then the other two parts, the storytelling was kind of the next biggest piece of breaking up. There we go. Heard that one. Of breaking up content into story tiles. And a lot of that time was spent generating these sentence embeddings, which I'll talk about a little bit more in the accuracy piece. But that should be at least 50% faster now because we are parallelizing these sentence embedding generation, and I beefed up the machine that is doing these calculations. And so it's significantly faster. And there's a lot of opportunity to scale here as well. We can add more machines, which obviously costs more money, but I think we're at a good space there for now. And the last part of this section here is the summary generation for OpenAI. That should be at least 50% faster as well. There was some suboptimal, really ancient code that hadn't really been looked at for a while. So I was just kind of doing some profiling of our code to see where time was spent. I found a few very low-hanging fruit things that were no longer necessary, that were hogging a lot of the processing time. So that's a lot faster now there. Another thing that there's currently backend support. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, quick question. Does that also include the phrase mapping you mentioned, or that's a separate one?
That's part of this thing here. Yeah, the phrase mapping.
But there's also other things, right?
Yeah. So the phrase mapping itself was close to 50%. There was I'll have to go back to the PRs. There were 2 or 3 other small changes, but the phrase mapping was the bulk of this. Yeah.
Like removing the phrase remapping.
Yeah, and we can add it back in when we need support for it. The way it was implemented was just very suboptimal and was doing kind of a lot of unnecessary database queries and stuff. So
I think it was inserting a lot of database query for that. And one extra thing on this is DeepGram also has phrase mapping feature. So
cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they actually is better than our phrase mapping. So if you provide a phrase mapping to DeepGram, they can change it while they do speech recognition. So even the transcript is correct.
That's cool.
Oh, wonderful.
And they also have streaming support. I guess Google did too. I didn't realize that, but DeepGrams is a lot lower latency. So this would allow us to do sort of real-time stuff in the near future.
Yeah, and also one extra data point on this is that in the boat trip, I was talking with Bing about what speech recognition solution they use. They did a very intensive research and they landed with DeepGram. So that gives me very good confidence.
Awesome. That's great.
So, yeah.
I just have a quick question. How are they so much quicker? Do we know like their algorithm is better, or they're a smaller company so they can do better processing? Do we know?
Yeah, Jing, I don't know. Maybe you have an answer for that.
If we don't know, that's okay. I was just curious.
I think it's like a fundamentally different model type
Okay.
understanding. Yeah.
Cool. Super cool.